Done the cylinder head there, it's come out quite nice. Polished it up. Using various grits of emery cloth. Start off with a heavy grit right down to a 1200. So that's come out really nice. I've just done the barrel. I've been using a heat resistant spray paint. This can go up to 600 degrees Celsius. So I've given it plenty of coats of that. I've masked off the areas that I don't want paint. So I'm going to check the old piston rings in the barrel and check the new ones in there and just compare the end gap. Let's get this masking off. There you go, I'll give this mating surface a clean up with acetone before I fix it. So let's check the old rings first of all. That's 0.15 to 0.35 of a millimetre, which is 0.006 to 0.014 of an inch. I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to use the piston to push it down about 20 mil, and that looks big. That looks very big. Well, that's 0.32. and that is flapping about. So that ring is shot. Let's see how much it really is. So 0.8, 0.75, so that's 1.5 millimeters. And that's still got a little bit of play in it. So it's over a millimetre, the end gap on that, which is well shot. Let's check the next one. Okay, that looks a bit better. So let's try the 0.88, and that fits just. Okay, with no play, so that's 0.8, so that's nearly 1 millimetre as well. Ooh, mustn't lose the ball bearing for the clutch. Let's put that somewhere safe. So let's try the new piston rings out. Okay, so the first one. Be very, very careful not to break these. They're very, very brittle. And again, we'll push it down about, I don't know, 10 mil. Okay, I don't know if you can see that, that end gap looks very, very small. So let's start off with the tolerance. 0.25. Okay, that fits in there perfectly. Excellent. So at least we know it doesn't need a rebore. So I'm going to get the piston on and get the engine rebuilt. New roller bearings, new gudgeon pin. We have to make sure the arrow is facing the front of the engine. And we have new circlips as well. There you go. Okay, you can see the old roller bearing. They've actually collapsed. Scrap bin. Let's clean up this face with some acetone. And get the base gasket on. Try not to get any of this on the paint because it will just strip it off straight away. Shouldn't need to do this one because I did it before I masked it, but we'll give it another go. We don't use any liquid gasket on this. I suppose you can do, but it's not meant to. And I don't know how it's going to react with the heat once the engine warms up. Okay, it's not symmetrical, it's symmetrical this way but not this way, so these go to the front and these go to the rear. There is a tool you can get to hold the piston rings in place, but I haven't got that. I've done a few of these over the years. I've broken a few rings. So I'm experienced and I know how to do it. Okay, we need to get the oil ring on first. Okay, there you go, number one. You have to get these rings on the right way because they're angled at the ends there. And the pin is at the top. Okay, there we go. Let's see if we can get this barrel on. Okay, it's got it. Voila. Okay, what did I do with the nuts for that? go. I'm just going to put a little bit of two-stroke oil around there. Just to lube it up a bit. Just going to pinch them for now and I'll torque them down later. I'm going to put the rev counter drive in there. There we go. Okay, there you go. Got the new copper gasket. I've cleaned this up with acetone as well. Make sure we get the head on around the right way. There you go, just finger tight at the moment. I'll torque them down later. Let's get this carburetor on and get the oil pump on. Yeah, carb come up nicely. I've got to give it a coat of clear petrol proof lacquer, which I managed to get in town today. And there's the oil pump. It's in quite good condition, so I'm not going to take it apart. It has very little moving parts, so there's not a lot that could go wrong with it. So I'm going to leave it at that. Need to put a new gasket on the back there. So I'm only going to put it in place for now because I haven't actually got one. I just rotated the flywheel a little bit, so I'm not going to tighten it right up because I'm waiting on a gasket. But it's one of these easier jobs. I managed to get a length of the bigger pipe and a length of the smaller pipe for the outlet that goes onto the carb. Got them in town, which is handy, and they're so flexible compared to the old one. Really hard. I mean, you can't even straighten that bit. Great stuff, looking good. I've still got to spray the outside with the clear lacquer yet, but I might give it another going over because I've knocked it a little bit. Looking good. For those eagle-eyed people, yep, you'd have noticed I forgot to put the reed valve in, but it's not a problem. I haven't tightened these up yet. Just need to get the new reeds in there. Well, I'll strip down the wheels today. I managed to get some new rims online. For 2 rims, I think it was about 30 UK pounds, which is pretty good, isn't it, for 2 chrome rims. I've got to order the spokes up yet. I'm going to keep the front hub. I'm going to clean that up. I also managed to get some of the bearings as well. The front bearings are the same size. I also managed to get the oil seals at the same place, or the dust covers or grease seals, whatever you want to call them. And the rear one, there's 3 different bearings, or should I say 3 bearings. 2 are the same size, one's a little larger, as you can see. But unfortunately they didn't have the grease seals, so I'm going to have to order them somewhere else. So yeah, good. So let's get cracking with the wheels. Yeah, even he agrees. Well, I noticed on the rear brake cover where the shoes are, where the brake goes through there, it's gone oval. So I've ordered a new one of those, and this is slightly oval. This is the front one where the brake shoes go. Eventually I want to try and get it over to disc brakes if I can, but this one doesn't look too bad. It's slightly warm, but I can't get one of these online, so I'm going to use this in the meantime. Looks terrible in there, doesn't it? That's the gear that drives the Speedo. Looks awful, doesn't it? Should clean up okay though. Like I say, I'll look for a new one online in the meantime. I started cutting the hubs out, but to be honest, there's a little lip on this one, so I've ordered a new front hub, and I bought a new rear hub anyway. So new rims, new spokes, new hubs. Scrap bin. We'll bar the rear mudguard, the oil reservoir, the handrail. We've only got this lot to clean up now. I'm not going to bore you with it. I've got a new rear hub, but I'm going to keep the rear inserts. Oh, that looks filthy, doesn't it? I'm not going to bore you with the cleaning of this, so I'll come back to you when I'm done. Well, I want to get cracking with painting these side panels and also the front cowling. I did give it a little rub down on this side and a bit of primer and a bit of gloss lacquer just to see what it would look like. But we need to change the colour. The bike's grey, so I'm not sure whether to do this like a bluey grey. Don't know, or maybe just the grey. But there's a couple of things we need to do. I noticed there's a gauge here for the oil, and there isn't one on the new one, so that needs to come out somehow. Don't know how yet. And also in one of these, there's a battery layout. That's got to come off because there isn't one in the new one. So when I was in town today, I bought myself a couple of emery pads. These are great, you know. I've done a bit on the front cowling here, and I used the foam emery pads just to scratch it up, give it a key, and it's worked well. So let's get cracking rubbing these down and getting them primed. That grey primer looks pretty good. I might leave that as the final coat. It's a grey bike, that's what's in the logbook, on the documentation. I could try like a silvery grey. Let's see what it looks like with a clear lacquer. I did try this light grey, but as you can see, it's kind of a yellow. And it's all speckly. I did shake it up well. And it's kind of created a motley effect and a run. So I don't know what's going on there. Maybe a bad batch. But I'm not going to use that. So I need to get this rubbed down and re-primed. Well, I masked off the side panels. Not that good though, was it? I'm going to have to go over that bit again. Yeah, never mind. I've got that one a little bit there. Well, it's the last of all the greasy, mucky stuff cleaned up. The insert for the back wheel. Looks like both sets of brake shoes are contaminated, so they're going to have to be replaced. I did spray up the hub for the front wheel, Speedo. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad, that hole. But that'll do until I can find a new one. So what I'm going to do, just before I end up on this video, I'm going to get this bearing in and get the oil seal in, dust seal, whatever. And that only leaves the other ones. Well, just to round this video off, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the bearing put in here and get the seal in. It's one less thing to worry about. Okay, let's get cracking. Going to give it a bit of heat this time. I'll put the bearing in the freezer. It's been in there a couple of hours. Either that or the rubber hammer. That should do it. Time for a hammer. Oh, that is hot. Yep, that's home. Let that cool down before I put that oil seal in. Okay, that's a lot that's gone in by hand. So there you go, the oil seal's in. Just put that on there for safekeeping. Anyway, I think I'm going to wrap that up as part 7 of the RXS build. And in the next video, I'm hopefully going to get all the paintwork done, get the new tank decals on, and get it clear coated, and then we can start thinking about getting the wheels. Anyway, if you did like it, do give me a thumbs up, do subscribe if you can, and do check out my other videos. And I'll see you next time.